Dunkirk, the World War II film brought to us from masterful filmmaker Christopher Nolan, one of the most highly anticipated films of 2017 and one of the best reviewed films of the summer. I gotta tell you right off the bat, not a war film fan, just is what it is, not my jam. I just don't watch them because I don't like them. Christopher Nolan, like I said, masterful. I think he's an incredibly talented man that really knows what he's doing behind the camera. But I don't personally find all of his films very enjoyable. I did not care for Interstellar, his last work, and that just is what it is. So, when I saw trailers for this starting last year, I was just like, no, no. That was my cue to go to the bathroom before the movie starts because I just had no interest in it. I thought, what, this PG-13 war film? I don't know. That just, none of it seems good to me at all. But the last week that all these amazing reviews have been pouring in, I just kind of got interested because I am a huge fan of the cinematic movie-going experience, going into the film and being locked into it and just living that film for the time duration. And oh my god, what Gravity did as a 3D spectacle for space, this does for pretty raw war. This film is an experience. You live Dunkirk going to see it. You don't just watch it, you are in Dunkirk. And that's for the reason that I had to see it. I had to go for it and see if it really did have that intense experience. And oh my god, what a big surprise. This film is just one big battle from the very beginning. People are being shot at and you are just running. And we are just in the film, in the war, and you just go. You've got soldiers on this beach trying to be evacuated from emergency services coming from land, and you just have people hopping in their boats and sailing across the English Channel to save these soldiers who are trapped and being bombed from fighter pilots in the sky. So you've got these people on the land, on the sea, and then you've got other pilots in the air trying to take out the other fighter pilots, and you're hopping between these three different segments as the film progresses. And oh my god, each and every one of them is just absolutely nerve-wracking. I mean, by the end of this film, there was this part that was so tense. I mean, my heart was about to beat out of its chest, I tell you, and that's what I love. Even though this isn't my kind of film, and I have no intention of ever watching Dunkirk again, I thought it was an amazing experience that grips you. And that's what a movie should do. It should take you off on this experience. It shouldn't just be like, whoo, and that happened. No, this is a film that is just very intense and in the right way. I feel like has that real feel for war, which, like I said with the PG-13 rating, I was a little worried, but it's perfectly just is what it is. It doesn't need to be overly graphic in its violence. It really is just a war experience, and the things just happen, and it is what it is. And it's not too bleak. It isn't like, oh god, this is so, because it is very intense and gritty and raw, but it also has some very satisfying sequences and situations where you think, that's exactly what I wanted to see. Oh my god, there is this one sequence, I mean, I don't want to say anything, because every little part of it is what makes the whole so good. But there was one where I was sitting there like, oh my god, this is my absolute nightmare. This is the worst thing ever, and this is happening, and don't want to say anything, but the way so many things turn out, you're just like, okay, okay. It's interesting. And also, the three different segments, you're following all these random people, but it does come around in the end. It didn't need to, but it does connect well in a way that you're like, okay. And that's one thing that I was very surprised. This is a very satisfying movie in the right way. It doesn't sacrifice story or anything to be satisfying for the audience. It manages to be entertaining even to someone like me. Someone that doesn't like these movies. I mean, that's pretty impressive. That's the one word for this film that I kept thinking all the time. I was like, this is impressive. I'm very impressed here with this. My biggest problem that I thought I would have going in was that I knew there was really no characterization. You don't really have actual characters. You just kind of have some people here and there, and we are following some. And what I really liked was you really didn't need a lot of characterization. There are a lot of scenes where you have character building without any dialogue, and that's just amazing to see when you can really develop something without laying it out there. That's, again, masterful filmmaking, and what makes Dunkirk so real and interesting. You don't need to know all of the backstories, all of these people. When you see Tom Hardy in that plane run, you're just like, okay, we need Tom Hardy to get out of here. He needs to land safely and just shoot the shit out of these guys. Just get them out of the sky. And, I mean, that's really impressive. Dunkirk is the movie experience of the summer so far. There might be something that comes up, but right now, Dunkirk is a must-see in the theater experience. I saw it on 70mm film. I thought it looked great. I thought it was amazing. I gotta recommend it. Even though, like I said, I wouldn't see this again. This isn't my kind of film, but I think you should see it. I'm gonna give Dunkirk a 3 out of 5. My only big flaw with it is that sometimes because it's hopping between segments, I was a little bit taken away once it jumped back to something, and I was like, oh yeah, we're supposed to care about this again. I forgot because you then jumped to something else. But minor flaw, it still plays really well altogether as the film. I like that it wasn't, 3 hours long. It managed to be what it needed to be in a really kind of breezy time for a war film. So, so many reasons to recommend it. It gets all the reasons. Go see Dunkirk, and feel free to subscribe to check out for any future reviews.